Okay, and I think it's about time. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Hey, Mel, good morning. Okay, welcome in. So I am Lindsay with Bee Happy Cottage. And so for my kite thing, as soon as I saw like the poles and stuff, I don't know why it came to me, but doing like this is a map and it has Narnia and Hogwarts. It had a Middle Earth, like it had a bunch of stuff on it. Live brain is real, yes. And mine doesn't quite function on normal time. So hi Michelle, welcome in. So I have done like Alice in Wonderland. I love Anna Green Gables. I didn't really have like enough stuff to kind of do that one. There's Hunger Games. I just like Winnie the Pooh. I just chose a bunch of stuff that stories and movies that I love and kind of like a journey into another world type thing is what I'm going to do with this. So y'all welcome in, and I'm going to start with the cover. It had, yeah, I think I got this from Temu, y'all. So like the spine is kind of open. It had this on there, but what I want to do when I'm kind of done with the book is put like ribbon around this. So I don't want it to kind of mess with it as I'm trying to hold, like open it and work in it. Hey, Dory. And I did glue down that first page. It was kind of like attached out to here and laid funny, so I just glued that down. Last summer, I bought tons of kind of like junk journal stuff. And then I did like a social media fast for like 60 days and just last year was kind of, you know, and so I did that, and it was kind of like Christmas going through all my stuff again and finding things. Good morning, new here. Welcome in, Deborah. I'm Lindsay. And today is in the Herd family. I want to make sure I say the right right group name too. And it's International Kite Day. And up after me is Miss Ruthie. Oh, you did not clog up again. I sat and like unclogged this thing earlier. Yeah, it's not squirting out. It's trying. Let me see what I did with that safety pin. This glue is kind of new to me. I've used it very few times. It's the art glitter. I don't know if clogging is going to be a big issue with it, like every time you go to use it. Hopefully. Otherwise, we'll pull something else. And I'm thinking we're going to pull something else. It's like it's trying to. I'm waiting for the top to bust off like that time I was using that puffy paint and it just like squirted all over the place. Hey, Ruthie. Okay, we're just going to skip you and we're going to go to this. I really wanted it closer to the edge, but like the glue kind of pushes out some. So I can go back in later and add some glue if I feel like it needs it. Okay, so I just did a map on the front, and then I'm going to go in with a little pouch here. And I did a little world and put fly away to another world on it. And then I'll do my kite. But this will be a fun event, seeing what everybody kind of comes up with. So I thought of like childhood whenever I saw it. It's funny how some stuff, even if you really like the theme or you like what it is and things, you just can't like figure out what to do. And then this one, like I said, as soon as I saw it, I don't know, this kind of came to my brain, so I went with it. Okay, let's get this guy on there. See, I really like the glue for something like this. We'll go in with this stuff. Hi, Angela. I can actually see comments, so I'm not going to worry about pulling up over on my computer. I should have inked that first before I put it down. That's okay. Guess I'll go in with one of these pens. And these are kind of new to me too. I've used a few of them. I forgot that they had like plastic seal on them. So any of them I use, and you gotta kind of get it going too. I don't know that this would be my favorite color for something like that. Let's do more of like a gold sheen to it so you kind of see it. We're just gonna go in with this. Like I said, some of this stuff I don't feel like it sometimes holds the best. And then I want to make little tags to go in this, and I will probably print some stuff for all the different places that I'm kind of doing in there. I'll make little pictures and probably kind of attach them like to a string or something. Hey, Jody, let's go fly kites. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Okay, so I told her in the chat last night, like, can y'all believe my ink just like kaput on me? So you started printing out the color it was, and then it kind of went this. It's like, so we're just going to go with a muted vibe today and just pretend that's what I wanted it to look like. I am going to go over this with a little bit of inking just so it sort of matches. That's looking like I used that on a green. Let's see. I think we're good. Yeah. Okay. I also didn't lay down any new paper stuff, but I usually have on my table like runners and tablecloth anyway. I'm like in between seasons in my craft room. I was like going through a bunch of stuff doing events, so it's all kind of like piled and like making stuff for my house. So I've kind of made out here. It's sort of my event thing. My husband was like, so you're taking over the dining room too? And I'm like, look, shh, okay. Now, I will say these little flags, I used that drop thing in Canva where you drop the picture in. It has like a weird little edging. I was not going to fussy cut that out, so I have to go on my edges. Good morning, Deborah. How are you doing? Okay, we have an hour. That scared me. I was like, is it 45 minutes or an hour? So I definitely I'm somebody, I love Narnia, Hunger Games, Harry Potter, all that kind of stuff, Lord of the Rings. I made a flag for that one, or a kite for that one too. So this is something I'll continue working on as I kind of get things and go through more of my stuff. And I'm thinking I kind of want this here, and I'll do like a little tell here. And let's go kind of, y'all, I'm a muted, neutral person. I do love bright colors, and there's certain times, but I do tend to go kind of muted on stuff. So I think I'm just going to use this. Now this is where a glue gun would have kind of come in handy. So I may have to wait to actually put the little string on there, because that's probably going to be better. And I didn't think about that on my little kite strings. That would be the best. Okay, so we'll wait to do that. I'm going to wait to attach him too, because I need to glue that to the back of it. So this is what it's going to look like on the front. And like, that's definitely, I love that there's some color. Honestly might go over that with a little bit of the brown to mute it down some. Let's do that. Not a ton, but just a little bit, so it matches a little bit better. And part of my world, it was not pink. That's the having issues with my printer. But I'm not mad at it. I do kind of like it, and it adds a little bit of brightness to it. Hi, Christy. Thank you. Welcome in. Okay, so we're going to open it up and go to, so that's one kite. We're going to go to our pages in here. And I came across these. It was a bunch of different little things. It says explore the world. Trying to think if I want to just leave it like this, and that way I can tuck something that's brighter, or if I want to go in. I think I'm going to use that over here with that. We're good to go now. Yes. Okay. See, that to me is a bit that came out because I know it'll push out. So I really didn't want to cut that down anymore. And I am doing it not right along the edge. I'm bringing that up some. Okay. So stuff like this is definitely, like, as you get into it, the more ideas come and the more like you see your stuff or whatever. So I was trying to think of all the things and gather up last night. So I'm going to go in with this color. I don't know what it'll look like. Got to get this plastic off of here. I do really like these though. It's super golden marker. Pretty positive I got it from Temu. I'm almost positive I did. So what are y'all's plans today? I'm doing pozole tonight, so I've got to cook up the chicken. And then we went grocery shopping yesterday. So all my hamburger meat, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and cook everything. My husband bought like bigger things of it. I just wanted like a little bit of color. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's probably moss. Even though I wiped the table off, it just keeps appearing. It's like glitter. Something where this stands out a little bit more. I do really like these. I think they'll be great with stencils too. And like Ruthie, she's really good at all this paper stuff. I like to play with it. I always did. Like as a kid, I was always ripping apart paper and like making things and doing stuff. And I loved to draw. Not that I was like great at it, but I did love to draw. Okay, I think I'm going to frame it out and go ahead and go around this whole thing. Like I said, this will kind of be fun and it's like relaxing for me to do this kind of stuff. And some of it you can do kind of sitting and watching, you know, TV and things. And just keep filling it in with some of my like favorite shows. Like I love Gilmore Girls, so I could make something for that, and just different shows and books and things that I have loved. So one day we were watching Young Sheldon, and my youngest likes it. And I said, yeah, when I'm old and I can't remember things, you can tell me, hey, Mom, there's this show we should watch together. And we can watch it together again. And so a couple weeks go by, and he sits on the couch, and he's got the remote, and he's like, hey, Mom, there's this new show that's really good. I'm like, really? What is it? Did you start watching it with your dad, or where did you hear about it? And he turns to it, and it's Young Sheldon, and he looks at me, and he grins, and I'm like, that is not funny, little boy. I am not that old yet, okay? So here's that. I do like how that kind of makes that pop some. And of course, I'm going to go over it with a little bit of brown because, you know, that's me. Just a touch. Can't help it. Okay. So this one I tore. I was trying to figure out how I wanted, if I wanted to pull my little cut thing out. I do tend to like ripped edges. So this is definitely rough cut, and some of the page, you can see that. And I'm fine with that. I'm going to go over it. Let's see. We're doing, I can't imagine when the glue dries out, y'all. I never put the dang lid back on. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do on this one. The Journey. And I like how that kind of looks like a book. So books and movies. And then it says Adventure is Calling. Of course I will go. So I guess I'm going to do that probably in the corner there. But we need to go over this edge. And I'm trying to think, do I want a color to kind of brighten it up some? I have to say one thing with this whole paper stuff, you've got a lot of stuff. You've got all the layers. Oh my goodness. But that's the fun part. It's just like trying to collect it all to do it and keep it somewhat organized when you're going live. Okay, let's see what we got in here. here's a green. I do like green. I could try that blue. Some of these I don't really fully know. Like I've used them here and there, but I'm not sure how potent of a color they are and stuff. Yeah, I think we're going to do, so let me see about like kind of blending these in together. I really do wish I would have got like something to put where my whole table's not covered in ink and stuff. My husband's going to be like, woman, what were you doing today? Okay. I kind of want to use a brush. And I know I had that little box of brushes. Yeah, there's a little one in here. I'm going to go into this little one. I can clean it. I'm going to assume that's going to be the lighter color with the blue. So I'm going to do that first. And have any of y'all, I need to like look up videos, but do any of y'all know, I bought alcohol inks, but I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I don't know. I want to, my slow connection covered Michael's thing. What is being ordered? Yeah, I don't know. When you find it, let me know. And see, I scrolled. I don't know what I was fixing to say, y'all. Alcohol inks. That's what I was talking about. I see where people like spray them and then like they'll add water and stuff, and I like that effect. Mine came in like these little bottles that you like squeeze it out. So I don't know, do I add it into like water or do I add it into alcohol? I need to figure out how I use them to spray it. Hey Connie, good morning. So I'm going to go in pretty much along the whole thing with the blue. I'd like it a little darker, so that's why the green I figured would kind of make it just a smidge darker. And see, the brown on this would have been really pretty, but I'm trying to add a little color. Ooh, I like that swirled over the top of there. I'll try to lightly, where that blue comes through, kind of looks like water a little bit. Okay, I do like how that looks. I'm gonna add some color. Okay. See, when I was younger, I loved like color and kind of funky, weird outfits. And as I grew older, I just wanted to like blend into the wall type thing. So my closet's very like muted. Like this is me like trying to have color. And then the lavender color. I do like the way, like I usually get compliments and it does kind of make my eyes stand out a little bit more. But I've noticed it's like in army green. For some reason, I'm very drawn to that. So my whole closet, it kind of went from like a lot of muted to where it's like, you could tell the two colors I added were purple and the green. I was like, I really need to kind of step out of my comfort zone and add a little bit more. Okay, so let's, where did it go? Here we go. And I keep using this thing upside down. I don't know why. Here I am. I got it right that time. And hopefully this little thing doesn't run out on me either. So I'm gonna try to get as close to the edge as possible there. Okay. So are any of y'all like big paper crafters, or what is your, I'm kind of all over the place. I like the paper craft stuff. I do some fake baking. I like to decorate seasonally for my home, and so that's where a lot of it comes from. I love florals. My mom was a floral designer and stuff. So that's where a lot of mine kind of stems from, is wanting to do things in my house and trying to be a little bit cheaper, like thrifting and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to do this over here. That's why I love, like, when you come across the crafting stuff at a thrift store, that's like the best. Oh, thank you, Christy. Mine is pretty much all red. Your wardrobe. I was like, why are we talking about colors? What did I say? Okay, I think I'm just going to do this straight like that because I want more of those to show. Okay, so here's that. And I know this part's nothing about a kite, y'all. I'm trying to like move through so y'all get what I'm doing here. Okay, so now we're going to go into Alice in Wonderland. And I can do these, but I did kind of want to do like a page where it's stacked and layered. So I always loved Alice in Wonderland, and like the Mad Hatter was one of my favorites. I don't know that I had something with the Mad Hatter on it. Okay, let me kind of, I don't want to end up with all the same like thing at the end. Kind of grab a few different deals here. And these I just kind of rough tore and took them and kind of just cut with scissors, but I had the whole stack. So they're a little weird on the edge, but I like it. You like doing everything, right? Okay, so like this one, I'm going to go in here because he's not quite long enough, but that just adds another little layer and interest. You know, maybe by the end of this, I'll actually figure out which way to hold this sucker the first time I pick him up. Okay, I am trying to do where my, like more tattered edges are to the outside. Okay, let's go in with this guy. Yeah, you're the full length. Like, do I want the stripe or do I want the flower? I kind of like the stripe. Let's do the stripe. Dadgummit, I did it again. I'm trying to get right on that edge there. I love seeing the books where they kind of do like the stickers in the middle and stuff. I don't have like a ton of the stickers yet. They're more kind of fall based and like coffee shop that I do have. Okay, let's go in with this guy. It's gonna make him upside down. So let's do this side with the flowers. That'll work. Let's go in with this one here. Okay, what? Paper crafting. Yes. Let's put that one in here. And I think that yellow, I'm going to kind of add it as a topper like I did that one. You know, and I didn't pull my thing up because I could see the comments, but I'm hoping y'all can see everything fairly decent. Oh, see that in the middle of there? That's blue again, though. Let's not do that. Yeah, I like that layered. I don't mind if it hangs over some, but I'm going to tear that edge off just some. It was a little too long. Okay, I need one more. Let me get the top here, yeah. And that'll finish off with a yellow. We had a, it was a 99-cent store. I mean, I don't think anything left was 99 cents anymore, but they closed, and I loved, they had like all kinds of stuff like this. That was really nice for, you know, when I did my kids' parties and we're making banners and all that kind of stuff. It worked really good. See, he needs a little extra help here. Okay, so now let's go in and see what I've got. I tried to layer them by like what theme it was to kind of have this stuff a little slightly together. Okay, so I'm going to do this here, and then we'll have the kite string. I do want to go around this edge though, and I'm thinking blue. We'll go in with this. So I went on, I think just Pinterest is where I found them. Looked kind of for free maps. And then I just tried my best to get where you could see what the actual thing was. Whenever I dropped it in on Canva, they've got those different picture things in different shapes, and you just drop your image into it. I think I kind of want to like blend different colors through a little bit and add some of this color. I'm trying to cover up where that white shows from it being kind of a different shape. Okay, and then I'm going to do the red. That color kind of reminds me of the Mad Hatter a little bit, that purpley tone. And the blue for Alice, and then I guess this is red. It doesn't totally look like red to me on the paper, but I do sometimes have a little bit of trouble with subcolors like that. Not quite looking right to me. Okay, so that added in just a touch of color to that. Let's bring this back over here. We'll go there. I'm just going to leave the bottom undone where I can tuck the, hey Lindsay, how are you doing? Different strokes, square pegs, facts of life. Yes, I loved the facts of life. That was a good one. But I'll leave that undone there. So that way I can go back with my string, because I didn't think about that with the hot glue is probably going to be the best. Okay, kind of want that up towards the top there. And then I did have, so like these papers are great because you can kind of tear out the different things for what you want. And I love like a ripped edge. So I'm going to go ahead and tear out these clocks. Set them there and then set that out of the way. Okay. And then I do have the tea bag here. I want to tear a little bit of it off. I do not remember. Like, I have had these. It's like drink me, and then we are all mad here, eat me. It was like a whole little set, and I want to say it was Graphics Fairy, but I'm really not 100%. A couple years ago, I did my dining room, kind of Alice in Wonderland for around Easter time. So I have this one, which I thought would be cute on and like really go pink. And then I do like, I love the little tea party scene. So I may do that. Let's do the tea party scene. I don't know what paper I'm going to use for it, but let's do that one. I wonder if I should do, I've got that. I could kind of layer, and then I can do just behind it. It doesn't fill up the page. Let's see. I want it like a little bit more full, but that's fine. We're going to go in and actually tear. You know what? I'm going to go in. I know it won't show the best because of the color. Like sometimes that does affect a little bit, but let's see what it kind of does if we go in. I think it's showing pretty decent. I would have preferred the page to be white, but I think it's working. Okay. Let's go in with just the slightest touch of green. And then let me see if there's like a pink or something that I can do. I don't know if it'll show up over the top of that. Yeah, I don't think that'll look good with that one, but we'll see if this fills in some. It's very soft. I kind of like it. And luckily it's not picking up those other colors. This is where like the alcohol ink would have looked good. Ooh, see, I like that. Okay. That's looking more and filling in a little bit more what I would want it to. I got to figure those out, and then I plan on having fun with that. Okay, so hopefully y'all can kind of see that a little bit. So it just lightly filled that in, give it kind of a watered down appearance. Yeah, that filled in the space for that. So we're going to go in with this guy here. I'm going to tear that, and then I'm going to do a little bit of the same effect. Hopefully there's no bad words on this. I have no idea what book. I pick up books and then sometimes it's like, oh, no, we don't want that on the page. Okay. And just a little bit of that blue. I'm just going to go straight on it with the pink. Actually, I feel like it's not showing up as good on this. We got a little on there, so we're good. Okay. I don't know where my one lid is. Okay, let's get this guy down. So I am trying to do this a little more flat. I want to get some books and make stuff where it's like really layered and like I have molds and stuff that I want to do. But this is such a compact little book. I thought, well, I'll just kind of keep this more learning like the techniques with the inks and some of that stuff. Yeah, we'll do that there. Let's see. I think this one's a little bit smaller. Let me tear around him a little bit more, and then he can go up there. Okay, I like that. I'm going to add a little blue just to brighten that up some. That probably would have been better, but this guy somewhat centered. I think the silver around it would be pretty, so I'm going to add that. Hi, Sheila. Okay. Go in and just lightly hit. I want to get on the actual picture and then a little bit off of it too. So I don't know what I had next in my pile here. And originally when I was going to do this, I thought about making the kites like larger and just making a kite shaped book. And then I found this little book and I was like, well, actually, I think I'm going to do that. And so I made them smaller. And that way I can just keep adding to it really easily. Kind of like this Be a Dreamer. I may add this over here, and then that way the little kite tail will come down there. Don't want a lot, but just maybe like around the edges, just so it kind of like on each side, make it stand out just a little bit more. Where are we on time? Oh, we're 10:47. No, that went by like really fast. Okay, so here's the front we just hopped on, and I do have a little flag, and it's like all the places like Wonderland, Neverland, Alice in Wonderland, Narnia, like all that kind of stuff that I like. And then here is this one for the Alice in Wonderland, and then up here is like Journey. So let's I really like Alice in Wonderland, so we're going to go back a couple of pages and go to the next thing. I will say I do like how flat this book lays. Like, that is nice. And let me see, like I had mushrooms and different papers and things gathered. Let's kind of scooch that over there. So I guess what's next is the Hunger Games. So I'll do that next. I think we're going to go in with the brown on this one and keep it kind of muted like it is. And so I found a kind of a map that has the different districts, and then I did district 12 coal mining on it, like made a little flag thing across there. Okay, so I kind of went more forest-like with some of this stuff just because I had this already made back, and you like lift it up and fold it out, so I can do all kinds of tags and writing in that. So each one kind of folds up, and then you've got the big one. So I thought that would be a good, it was like perfect size to go in the center of this. So that's where I just kind of went with all that. And then I found these in my stash, some just kind of different, a little bit outdoors looking. I'm thinking of kind of tearing this off some and layering it on that. Trying to think, do I want a full sheet behind there? Let's do that. Let's do this stuff. I like the textured look of it. So I'm like super professional doing this, y'all. Like I just was playing with it this morning. I found, I had one of these rulers and it works better than that other thing, like trying to, like I said, I like the torn edges, but I just flop it on there and rough best I can. Like, I love the edges where you go in and you add the ink and all that, so I don't try to be super precise with it. Okay, and now let's get the length here. I definitely want to make, as I do these other pages, more pocket type stuff and do all that. It's just, I have done them, but I'm usually watching somebody to like make sure I'm doing it the right way. And so I didn't want to get on a live and be trying to do that. So I'm a little more comfortable, like I've done it more. Okay, so let's go in now with that guy. Off of this, and I'm doing it towards me so I can go in with ink right here. So since it was a little bit larger than what I needed, I'd have to do the one side, so I might as well do both and kind of give it a different look. Okay, and I want to get it where it's pretty much just the size of this smaller page here. Okay, that works. So let's ink the edge on this. I think I'm going to go in with some green. Let's not use that one since I've been doing the brown with that. I feel like I could almost do the same kind of effect with that green and blue again with the way the picture is. So we're going to do that. Okay, yes, Ruthie, we'll see you in a minute. We've got 6 minutes. I'm going to actually go into that blue and kind of just hit a few places on here even. Okay. So I'm sure we'll see like paper flags or kites, not flags. And I think I'm going to make this like a pocket that I can tuck stuff. And probably like a material. I mean, there's no telling what we're going to see today. And I hope this was okay. I was like, I don't know. It just came to me and I was like, well, that'd be like a paper crafting thing. Okay, so here is that guy. And then I've lost my flag or my kite. I keep wanting to call it a flag. I don't know why. So we're just going to add this. I'm going to leave the edges and I may go back in with some like inks and stuff to kind of fill in those edges and give them a little color. But I do like the neutral with this. Okay. And then see, like I have that, and I have this little tree that I thought about putting in there, which I would need the hot glue. And I may add him here. I think that would be cute. I think it would close fine. I'm trying not to do a ton of this stuff just because of the way the book is. Oh, seriously, what did I do with the dang kite? This is what happens when there's too much stuff on the table. But like, he's big. I don't think that would open correctly. Wonder if I could tuck it like that. Yeah, I could do that. That'll work. Okay, we'll do that. That way I can do tags and stuff in front of it. Like I'd love to print off like the different characters or, you know, just different stuff. Fun little booklet to go through. Okay, that works. Okay, so here's this one and the kite for all I can think is District 12. Hunger Games. So there's the kite for Hunger Games. Okay. I have to make sure that little guy closes up. So we got through Alice. Like I said, I've got Winnie the Pooh and different stuff. And I just did maps for the kites. And then that way, like, this part's all the, like, the characters and stuff like that. But I will, I'll keep doing this stuff. And I may do some lives, but I'll probably also make some videos and things to kind of show y'all as we go. Hey, Christy, how are you doing? We've got 2 minutes. See, like this, I honestly should cut that edge off. And I got some of the sticky stuff on it. Craftbox Christy is another one. If you like, she does ATC cards, but she's really good with paper. I can't wait to see what Ruthie and everybody else does. So I could kind of read off who's in it today. So there's Ruthie, and then Sandra with Country Family Roots, Marsha with Heart and Soul Creations, Basement Crafting with Michelle, and let's see. I had to blow it up, y'all, so I could see the bottom part. Primitive Country Memories by Jody. Then Michael with Michael's Instructional Crafts. Mel with Mel's Crafting Corner. One and Done by Artists. Old Timey Creations by Deborah. And then Dory with Adorable Things. And then Bex with Glue Sticks and Flower Picks. So y'all definitely want to stay around and join the Herd family if you haven't already. And that way you'll get to see everybody and what they kind of come up with. We've got 1 minute. And I will try not to go over. It's like that last minute always, you don't want to just hop off, but then you're also trying not to go over on the next person. But thank y'all so much for joining today. And I'm excited to kind of go through and continue this and have fun with it. Okay, so we're going to skip a few pages here. And see, I had Harry Potter too. I think that was probably what I had next on here. With some Harry Potter, and I have Narnia. Yeah, my Harry Potter was next. So all of the little maps, they ended up being kind of muted, but it's time now, so I will see y'all over in comments, and y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.